Supporters are making signs to cheer on loved ones, and runners are getting their racing bibs and picking up their numbers.
What's up guys, it's George Yuyu. So I ran the 2022 LA Marathon, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my experience, some footage of the event, my nutrition, and some tips and corrections that I'm going to be making in the future. If you're new to the channel, my name is George. I'm a professional boxer and coach, and I love sharing advice on boxing, nutrition, exercise, life of a boxer, behind the scenes footage on boxing events. So if any of those topics interest you, please make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with the latest video. Quick disclaimer, I am not a competitive runner or running coach. I am a boxer who incorporates running to improve my fitness and cardio for boxing. If you're an experienced or competitive runner watching this video, please share your advice and give me tips and everyone else watching this video tips in the comment section below. Alright, so let's begin with training. So this is my second marathon. I ran my first one back in 2015, but I had no specific training. I didn't track any runs, any long runs, any tempo runs. I did no training for that marathon. I just did it based off whatever fitness I had from boxing. My first marathon I ran was 4 hours and 12 minutes, which isn't bad considering I didn't actually train for it. But I still believe that was the hardest thing I ever done in my life, even comparing to boxing fights and weight cuts and all that. My first marathon ever was the hardest thing I ever done. So I began training for the 2022 LA Marathon back in November of 2021. My first official run was an 8-mile trail run at about 9:05 mile pace. I didn't follow my training plan completely to the T because a little bit of laziness, lack of food, which led me to be fatigued before even doing my runs. I was trying to fit in my boxing sessions, some strength and conditioning sessions, some runs. In the beginning, I was just trying to figure out my schedule. So I printed out a calendar and my plan was simple. Run 4 days a week. I had one tempo day, which is short but fast-paced run. Day 2 was a medium distance recovery run, about my marathon goal, maybe a little bit slower. Day 3 was an easy, light 3 to 5 mile run. And day 4 was usually Saturdays where I would do my long runs. Again, I didn't follow my plan to the T. I didn't do high mileage per week. Over the course of the months, I progressed on my long runs, but everything else kind of stayed the same. I did a few 8-mile runs, 2 10-mile runs, 4 half marathons, 1 16-miler, and 1 20-miler. After the 20-mile long run, I did a few mid-distance runs and short runs, and that was a wrap for my training. Alright, so my marathon time, my goal changed as I was progressing and was getting in better shape. At first, I just wanted to get under 4 hours. That way I'm able to beat my first marathon that I did. Then my goal changed and I wanted to get 3 hours and 50 minutes, which would put me at a comfortable 8:47 pace per mile. That way I can stop, take my gel, drink some water or electrolyte drink, and maybe walk a little bit and then continue my run. But then I changed once more and I wanted to run at an 8:30 pace, which would put my time around 3 hours and 42 minutes. I ended up running the race at 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 47 seconds or 48 seconds, beating my goal by about 10 minutes and putting my average mile time to 8:06. All right, so let's look at my 5K, 10K, and those markers. So my 5K, I did it 25:22, 10K, 50, 18, 30K, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 8 seconds, and finish time 3 hours, 32 48 seconds with an average mile pace of 8:06. Half marathon done, 8:01 pace. I feel good, halfway done. Let's go. Alright, so let's talk about nutrition. During my runs leading up to the marathon, I would have some carb energy gels. I actually have them right here. I bought them on Amazon. Good Tri-Berry gels. In one gel, there's 100 calories, We have 100 calories, 0 fat, 55 milligrams of sodium, 23 grams of carbs, 0 grams of protein. They go down pretty smooth. When you do a long distance or an endurance event, you need to train your body to be able to take in food and fluid. And in this case, the energy gel. You don't want to go into a race, never have eaten anything during training, because you never know, your body might reject it. So for this marathon, I brought 3 of the gels and I took them about every 6 miles. Along the way, I had some water and some electrolytes drink. I knew there would be other gels handed out there, so I ended up having 5 total gels for the whole race. Once your body depletes its glycogen, which is a storage form of glucose, that's when you hit the wall. Your body will use whatever's available first. So if you drink or eat something while you run, that's going to be used first before tapping into whatever's stored. So essentially what the gel does is that it slows down the depletion of glycogen. Just be aware that you're not eating these gels for the taste. Alright, tip number 1 is get a good night's sleep before the race. I did not have a good sleep. I only slept about 4 hours before the race. My mistake was I didn't train my body to go to sleep that early and get up that early. So I'll make sure to take my own advice for the next one. Find a night routine, make sure your room is cold, don't eat too close to bedtime, and limit your light exposure before going to bed. These are all tips that I need to follow as well, and I'm going to do it for the next run. Alright, tip number 2 is carb up the night before your run, but with foods that your body's familiar with. Don't go introducing new foods to your body the night before a race just because you saw someone else do it or someone told you to eat special carb or whatever. Eat what you normally eat, but just eat a little bit more of it. So if your body's comfortable eating rice, then eat more rice. If your body's comfortable eating potatoes, eat a little bit more potatoes. The last thing you want is introduce new foods to your body before a race and you just don't know if you can trust that fart or not. The first time I tried the gels, my body didn't really like it. The second time I used it, then my body was okay. It got comfortable. And then during the marathon, I had no problem. So carb up the night before the race, but with foods you're familiar with. Tip number 3 is do some sort of resistance training. Yes, even though you're running, it's important to continue doing strength training. The bulk of your training should be running, but make sure to include some resistance exercises either after your runs or a couple days out of the week. This will help strengthen your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, and also minimize the risk of injury. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. A few sets a week will bring you a long way.
Mile 21, 5.2 to go. I feel good. I'm doing a 8-minute pace. I feel like I'm gonna finish around this pace, so let's do it. I got a big cramp behind my left hamstring. Big cramp. I had to stop for like 20 seconds. Then I decided, you know what, whatever. I'll deal with it afterwards. Let's go, 2 more miles.
Alright, so here's a message to fighters. If you're a fighter watching this video, do you need to be running a long distance to improve your cardio for boxing? Not necessarily. Your body will adapt to the stimulus you give it. If you want to get in better boxing shape, you need to box more. Running is just supplementary to your boxing training. The amount of days or frequency of your runs is dependent on each person. Some fighters can run 7 days out of the week, others can only run 2 or 3. Everyone's a little bit different. If you're running every single day and you feel good, then cool, keep doing that. But if you're always too tired or too fatigued and it's affecting your performance in the gym, then you're probably doing a little too much. Focus on what's important first. And if you're a boxer, that's going to be boxing. Build your way up. Start with 2 to 3 runs a week, then gradually increase it to 4 to 5 days a week. But only enough to the point where you can still recover. Mix it up. Have slow runs, fast runs, sprints, hill sprints, tempo runs. All these runs will definitely benefit your boxing. Again, make sure you're able to recover from these runs. I know it gets difficult when you have to worry about getting your miles in, sparring, losing weight, strength and conditioning, mental stress of fighting, promotional obligation. Everything adds up and will definitely affect you as a fighter. So start with a simple plan you could adhere to and then just gradually increase the workload. That way you get in better shape over time.
So weird, I got a cramp on my lat from holding my phone. Less than a mile to go. Let's do it. 26.2. check. I had to guess around 335. 240. I need to double check on the website. That's good.
All right, so that was my experience with the 2022 LA Marathon. Moving forward, I want to continue doing these runs and improve my time. I'm going to make some adjustments and beat my time on the next one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or if you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a runner, competitive runner, running coach, whatever, leave some tips and advice in the comment section below. All right, I love reading the comments. I love advice, so drop them below. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Pow!